So direct correlation there is a culture. One of the biggest benefits is an engaged, passionate employee base. And if you don't have an engaged, passionate employee base, you don't really have a company because in any business, it's a people business. And so I think that's a huge takeaway from what I'm hearing you say there. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you the next really important question, which is now you're in charge of trying to bring together different companies that are merging together, these very different audiences that we talked about at the beginning, and create a single company culture that has all the positive aspects that you've been talking about. How do you do that? That's a big question.
It is a great question because when you have the acquisition we went through last year, and those listening don't probably know this, but Challenge Dairy Products was a wholly owned subsidiary of California Dairies for many years. And last June, we made the physical decision to merge together, acquire, merge, however you want to phrase that, off of that, where every employee moved from being a Challenge employee to a California Dairies employee. And really, we have different cultures within it because in Challenge we're very sales and marketing driven, consumer packaged goods, and California Dairies is a manufacturing organization, dairy co-op, and everything. So bringing these two worlds together has been an interesting challenge for that because we have on the Challenge side we had drivers and distribution centers, and we had direct store sales with restaurants and hotels, and we had deals with our major retailer customers and everything. So we have had our own small kind of culture because we were around 200 employees, and now we're well over 1,000 employees. So you have that part of things going on. So there's been a lot of growing pains, I guess is the best way to put it, for things. And part of what we had to do was we had to talk about what are some of the best parts of Challenge that we liked, that we want to maintain, and try to see how we can incorporate it in with California Dairies. And what are some great things about California Dairies that happens? So it's not all just let's come over and make changes. It's how do we merge the two together? And some of that's through employee survey, but through feedback and discussions off of it, and just letting people know what we're doing. Maybe we can't do something, for example, like we used to do prior to COVID. We used to have these massive parties that we did. We spent a lot of money, brought everybody together. One that's not financially responsible to do, but from a culture standpoint, everybody loved it. But it's not 2025 type of business. But in California Dairies, we also have smaller company events that we do throughout. So how do we make sure everybody's a part of that and things that are going in there? So in my case, on that side of things, I'm working with the person who helps schedule out those PR type of things and making sure that we are making sure that the former Challenge employees who are now part of the consumer products group are heard and recognized as far as what they would like to see as well, and bringing everybody together at these events. So that's just one example that we're trying to do on these.
I've heard a recurring theme of what you're saying here, and I'll call it giving a voice to the employees, making them feel like they're heard, they're a part of this, so they're not just a cog. Is that a good takeaway from as a recurring theme that I'm hearing?
100%. A lot of times decisions are made without thinking about the impact on employees. And we have to remember, even though somebody has a certain job that they have to do, whether it is milk processing or store delivery, whatever it might be, that is their job. They have feelings about how they are doing that job and how they are treated every day. And we have to remember in our communication, our tone, our language, everything that we're doing is culture. And how do we communicate those messages? And or even if we communicate at all, if we don't communicate out something that's going on, that speaks volumes, as well as giving the wrong information speaks more volumes too. So we have to make sure we're thinking about how will this be perceived. Often it's like when you're told how to write emails, you always have to say, think about the receiver of the email. It's the same thing on your company communications. Think about the receiver. How are they going to take this? Don't just put down words because it makes it sound important. What is important to the person receiving it? And what do they need to know to make them feel a part of everything?